All right, well, welcome everyone to our goal setting webinar. Really excited to be on with you all. I'm just going to take a second and share my screen and get our fun little PowerPoint pulled up. Oops, not a new one. All right, can you guys all see that well? Okay, cool. So I just wanted to start out by just kind of introducing myself. My name is Kirsty Clark, and I have been a health and fitness coach for about 4.5 years now. And I do this for my family. We're going to talk a little bit about our why, and my why is my family. And I've been able to extend that why to other people, but it really all started within my family. If you can see the before and after picture of my husband, he is my inspiration. So the before picture was our now 8-year-old son, Jackson, and Jeff was up to about 300 pounds and was just feeling miserable. He had tried to lose weight. He was trying to get healthy, but really didn't know how. And so for him, as you can see, he had a really awesome physical transformation. For me, I had more of an emotional or an internal transformation because at that time you can see that he was overweight, unhealthy, probably unhappy, although he's smiling really cute there. I was struggling in a different way. I had major postpartum depression, was suffering from anxiety, had post-traumatic stress, and was just really, really struggling with my life. I wasn't setting any goals. I was living day to day. I had no vision for my future and was just kind of miserable. So fast forward to a couple years later, we ended up getting in a lot of debt. We were in a business that stopped paying my husband, and we moved from Texas to Southern California and moved in with my parents. My parents are amazing to allow us to just live with them and kind of start over. And while we were living with my parents, my dad, who is also on tonight, was up in the middle of the night because he couldn't sleep. He also was suffering from depression and just kind of feeling miserable at that time as well. Found a P90X infomercial, decided to order it on a whim, and invited my husband to work out with him every day. So my dad helped my husband lose 85 pounds with Beachbody's workout programs and proper nutrition. And so as you can see, he had an amazing transformation. So that's really obvious. His physical transformation was really obvious. But what I saw was how things changed inside our home. And he became a much happier person. He was a better husband to me because he was more self-confident with himself. He felt better about himself so he could be kinder and nicer to me, and our relationship got better. He came home from work and he had energy to play with the kids. And so that makes me a happier mom, of course. And so our lives changed so much just from setting physical goals and being healthier. And so as I witnessed his transformation, I just really noticed how just the physical change changed so much about our family and about our happiness. And so that's why I love to pay it forward and to help other people, because I know how much one choice and one decision can affect our lives. So I'm going to, switch to the next slide, and Rob's going to take it away from here.
So when we talk about goals, you're at one point and you're trying to get somewhere else, right? So as we talk about goal setting, this island A and island B metaphor is a perfect way to kind of visualize how to set goals. So picture, if you will, that you've been living on this island A your whole life. It may not be the greatest place, but it's the only thing you've never known, right? Then you start to hear that island A is not the only island in the world. There are other islands out there. You start opening your mind. There's lots of them, right? At first you don't believe it, but the more you visit the docks and meet these visitors, it becomes clearer to you. It's true. And then one day you hear about one particular island. We'll say it's Island B. And your heart leaps, right? Because this is what you've been looking for. It sounds perfect, right? It's everything you've ever wanted. And of course, you need a boat to get to that island. And for me personally, that boat was Beachbody. A few years back, 2009 came, and everything went south, right? The economy went down. And it was the first time that I really felt not secure in my job. I always, I'm a good worker, but for some reason, everybody's getting laid off, and I didn't feel secure in my job. And it made, we made it through okay, but I had some pay cuts, and I realized that I needed another plan other than what I was doing. And maybe that plan could be my A plan instead of my B plan. Mm-hmm. I was, working for somebody else's dream, not my own. Somebody else's retirement, not my own. So I kind of looked into the future, and I saw that, probably not going to have, the money that I want to retire on. My kids are going to be going to college, and I might not have, money for that. And we really haven't gone on vacations, and, we just haven't had the money, or paycheck to paycheck. And Carrie is wanting to find something out there. We looked for years of something that she could do at home, stay with the kids, and do something from home to earn some money. And that's when Kirsty kind of came along, and we saw what Kirsty was doing. And Carrie says, "Hey, I want to be a coach, because I think that this can bring us to that Island B that we've been wanting." So beach volley for me was that means to getting to Island B. And we might not have arrived to Island B yet, but we are sure enjoying the ride getting there. And so you have that quote underneath there. It says, "Direction is more important than speed." So many people are going nowhere fast. I love that quote, because a lot of people just don't know, where they want to go. They're going there fast, but they don't know where they want to go. That's mine, and that's my kiddos. That's what I'm working towards. That's my goals right there, is to provide a good future for them, and a healthy future too. Put the health forward.
Thank you, Rob. All right, Caitlin, you want to take it away?
All right, so jumping off from what Rob was talking about, so now we know we want to get somewhere. We know that, okay, we want to get to Island B, but how are we going to do it? A lot of people bring in excuses, and there's a lot of hard things in the way. So these two pictures, the one on the left-hand side is me and my sister. We went on a cross-country trip together, and this is when we made it to California, and it was super fun, but I felt miserable. I felt like I was just not in control of my eating and my exercising, and I just felt, this is a picture that I use because I didn't like where I was at right there, even though we had so much fun, and I'm happy. And then the other one is my family. They're my why, just like most people's families are their why. So this is why I want to get past the excuses and go on and make the changes that I need to make. So we have to do this intentionally. So to be intentional, we have to realize that it's not going to happen on accident. It's not going to just, say, you can't just say, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, how are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? What tools are you going to use to do it? At the time that I started doing Beachbody, I was in a full-time nursing school program. I am a nurse, but I was doing a bachelor's program. I was working full-time. I have 4 children. My husband works full-time. It was not a good time to start something new like this. It was just I had so many excuses not to do it. But I knew, because of seeing, everyone's success, that this was what I needed to do. So I had to make a way for it to happen. So I had to plan it into my day ahead of time. I had to plan when I was going to work out. I had to plan, my meals in order to do it. And those things take time, but once you start to get a routine of it, then it doesn't take as much time every single day. So what I would do is I would just plan ahead and just say, okay, this is one of my favorite, quick fixes is buying a bag of salad from Costco and rotisserie chicken. And so that was like an easy thing that I could do to plan ahead. And that way, going to work, going to school, whatever, I knew that I could, eat something healthy and not have to spend a lot of time cooking it. So you got to know your habits, and you got to change them when they're needed. So I have to work out in the morning. If I don't work out in the morning, it's not going to get done. So I know that for myself. So I know that if I do not set the alarm clock 30 minutes ahead and get up when it goes off, because I love hitting snooze, I will set like 10 alarm clocks, or I used to at least. And then change it when it's needed. So sometimes I would have to work really early in the morning for my work shift. So then sometimes I would have to kind of, maybe I didn't want to work out in the evening, but I wanted to get it done because I knew I felt better. So, and you just have to make the effort. So much of it is just making the effort. I often say that the math usually, it doesn't seem to add up, that you feel like if I'm tired, then why would I put in 30 minutes of exercising and all this effort? Because then I'm just going to be more tired, right? And it's actually the opposite effect always happens. Always, always, always. That I'll put in the 30 minutes of work, and then I feel so energized and I feel better. So if you make the effort, it will be worth it. Get up 20 minutes earlier. It feels so good to get up 20 minutes earlier than you normally do. Once you get into a habit of it. Mm-hmm. But once you get into the habit of it, you feel good just getting up that earlier time, having the time to yourself to think about your day, plan your day in your mind, or just be quiet, have some quiet moments. And what else do I like to do in the morning before everyone gets up? It's usually pretty rare that no one else is up in my house, but I try to wake up ahead of them, and it's just nice to have that time to just reflect on what you did yesterday. How did yesterday go well? How did it, how could you improve for today to set yourself up for success? The next one is investing in yourself. So sometimes you have to put yourself ahead of other people. You have to fill your cup before you can fill other people's cup. So by investing in myself, I would maybe have to, have 30 minutes in the morning that was just for me. That was time that I couldn't get kids ready for school. That was time that I couldn't get them breakfast and do any of those other things that I did in the morning normally. But because I did that time for myself, the rest of the day I could devote to, all these other things, these other chores and tasks and obligations that I had. I felt like I was a better worker because I had more energy to work. I felt like I was a better mom. I felt like I was a better wife. All these things by investing in myself with, with a small part of time, it's like 2% of your day is 30 minutes, then I could, do so much more for other people. The returns were great. And then the last one is cutting the crap. We all have a lot of extra stuff that just slowly eats away at your day. So like Facebook, I'm so guilty. I will be the first one to say I'm so guilty of just hanging out on Facebook and seeing what everyone else is doing. And then, like there's Netflix, there's so many ways to just waste time that it's insane. But especially when I was in school and I had papers due and I had things going on, I had to learn that, sometimes I just have to limit myself and just cut out the extra stuff. People will usually ask me, now this is because I was so busy with work and school and Beachbody. They would ask me like, "Oh, did you see that commercial?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't watch TV." They'd be like, "Oh, it's on all the time." And I'm like, "No, really, I don't watch TV." But when I do watch Netflix, I watch what I want to watch and I watch it for a specific amount of time. And then I don't feel guilty about it at all because that's my time to do it. But sometimes you just need to find out like where are those areas that you can kind of trim it a little bit. And then by doing all of these things, by being intentional about your choices, you can have transformation. So two of the things that I'm really proud of were graduating with my bachelor's degree and so far losing 21.6 pounds in the matter of 4 months. This did not happen because I just, thought, oh, I think I'll go to school and I think that I want to lose some weight. It was all on purpose. It was all by putting the effort in. And because you put the effort in, you cut the crap, you do all those things, you can have really great results and you can be so proud of yourself for what you've done. And you can really transform who you are, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. It really changes your whole outlook.
I love that picture of you jumping up with all your gear on. It shows the excitement and the accomplishment just in that pose. I love it.
It was.
Well, Molly, I don't know what happened, but somehow your darling picture didn't get up here. So I swear I put it there and I swear I saved it. But if we can all imagine her and her husband, and I think he's kissing you on the cheek, right?
Yes, he is. Okay, so I wanted to talk about making SMART goals tonight. And SMART is a great acronym, and you can see by looking at the slide what it stands for. And just to go over a little bit what each of those means. And honestly, before I became a coach, I don't really think I'd ever set real goals, or at least not intentional goals like Caitlin talked about. In fact, I actually really particularly hated New Year's resolutions, and I knew that I wouldn't keep them, so I didn't even bother to set them because it just wasn't going to happen. So goal setting for me is something that's new in the past year, and I've really learned to love it, and they actually really push me and motivate me. So the S stands for specific, and that's all about setting like very specific goals, not just like I want to get fit or I want to lose weight, or like in my case, like I want to gain weight or I want to gain muscle mass. Like trying to set something really specific, like I want to, lose 10 pounds, or I want to commit to working out 5 days a week. So very specific goals, because if they're not specific, then how will you ever know if you've reached them? And that's a huge part of goals is reaching them and working hard to reach them. So make sure your goals are specific. The next one is measurable. And that's goes along with specific, but make it something that you can measure. How many pounds do you want to lose? How many days a week do you want to work out? For me, how many meals do I want to cook at home each week? Because that is my biggest struggle. One of them is definitely the desire to cook, which I don't usually have. So, make it a measurable goal, not just I want to cook healthy meals at home more, but I want to prepare dinner 6 nights a week at home. So something measurable. The next one is for attainable. So, you don't want your goals to be something that's just not going to happen because, well, for lots of obvious reasons, but, you don't want to say, I want to lose 100 pounds in 30 days. Or, I've talked to some of my challengers who have, not really ever worked out, at least not any time in the recent history. And this is so many brand new things all at once. And, I tell them, maybe you don't want to say like, I'm going to work out 7 days a week and set that as your goal for, the rest of your life, because that might not be attainable for you right now. Maybe, say for the next 2 weeks, I want to commit to working out 3 days a week. And then, you can attain that. And then after that, maybe you want to add in 2 more days. So make your goal something that's attainable, because you don't want to get frustrated setting these huge, giant goals that, maybe are 5 years away or more, or even a year away. Set something that you can attain and soon. And then you'll set a new goal. And that's the cool thing about goals is it's not just January 1st. It's, you constantly should be making new goals. So personally, I love to set small goals, and I actually usually do them within my program time frame. So like right now when I'm doing the Body Beast, it's a 12-week program. So I've been setting 12-week goals for myself just because it works for me to fit everything all together into one time frame. And then you want to make your goals relevant. And so for this, you really want to know and understand why you're making these goals. And like Kirsty said, so like my cute little picture of my husband and I, and it was when we were downtown in the city for a night, and just rekindling that young romance that's so easily lost with 4 kids. And I have a lot of whys why I do this, and it's always very hard for me to narrow it down to just one. But one of my whys is that I would, for say my coaching business, is that I would like to ease some of that burden that my husband has of being the sole provider for 6 people. There's a lot that goes with that, and a lot of pressure, and I don't want to work full time or be out of the home. I want to be with our kids, and he wants me to be with our kids. That's a goal that we have. So that's not something that we want to change. But coaching has given me the opportunity to take a why that is, to ease the financial, burden that he has of having to do everything for all of us, and be able to contribute a little bit while still reaching the rest of our other goals that have to do with, our family and raising our kids. So, when you're setting these goals, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Or, why do you want to, make a commitment to going to church every week? Find your whys, because once you know why you have this goal, it'll make it a lot easier, because sometimes it's tough to reach your goals, and having that why will keep you moving and motivated. And then the T is for time bound. So just set an end date for your goals. Like I said, I usually keep mine pretty much going with the workout that I'm doing. So, if you're doing the 21-day fix, then maybe you want to start with setting some 3-week goals, or 12-week, or whatever your program is, or, set a 1-month goal or a 6-month goals. And you can even have multiple goals with different time frames. So, have a 1-week goal, and a 1 month, and a 6 month, a year, and even a 5-year goal. And that's okay, but put a time frame on your goals, because if you just leave it kind of open-ended, then you're going to have trouble getting motivated to really push yourself to reach those goals. And I'm good. You're muted.
Sorry, I just told my kids they can have whatever they want because I have to talk right now. Just have whatever you want. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, those are great tips, and I love the SMART acronym. That's perfect. Okay, so if you didn't already get the goal setting sheet, reach out to me. I will email that to you. Hopefully you all have it in front of you. But Becca's going to go through the let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 categories with us. And then there's also 2 little freebies. So one of them says, when I feel like giving up, I will tell myself. And so you have the opportunity to write yourself a little love letter tonight. So it's just kind of some affirmations. So what are you going to tell yourself when you hit your first stumbling block? What are you going to tell yourself when you feel like giving up, when you're feeling discouraged? So I have, don't give up. There will always be struggles and setbacks, but if you will push through them, you will learn valuable lessons and become stronger because of these experiences. You are worth it. And I really believe that. Like, I really believe that when we have those obstacles, there's some lesson that's of value for us to learn from that. And if we can go through life with this open mind of, this is, what I want out of my journey, but I'm willing to take in anything else, any of those crazy things that happen along the way, there's something to be learned from them. And then the last thing down at the bottom says my why. So my dad is going to talk for a second about my why in a minute, but I wanted to share mine first. So inner peace, daily freedom, happiness, feeling closer to the Savior, being productive. I want to wake up every morning excited to start the day. I want to feel like I'm making a difference for my family and an impact on others. I want to be productive and work smarter, not harder. I want to feel prepared and not scared. I will take time for myself when needed. So take some time to write down your why. Why are you doing this? What do you want out of life? Like, what is that thing that pushes you? All right, I'm going to take us off screen share so we can look at each other. And Dad, do you want to just take like 1 or 2 minutes on that?
Sure.
Thanks.
So I'm a little different generation than most of you. I found myself at age 51 out of shape, depressed, just feeling like completely like life had left me. I'd always been super active. I participated in sports all my life. I was passionate about it and I loved it. And I found myself sitting on the couch thinking this is it. This is the end of it. I was addicted to prescription medication, pain medication, couldn't sleep. I was out, man. I was surviving, but I wasn't thriving. And I knew that there was more for me, or at least I hoped that there was more for me. And really, that's how I got started with fitness and got my life back, got my health back. And it was getting out of my comfort zone and stretching and growing. And I mean, there's a whole nother world out there that is way beyond where I was. My business has been struggling for years and the stress has been killing me. And to see people's life change through Beachbody has been an amazing experience for me. But beyond that, take it one step further, and then the fulfillment and satisfaction that has come from being able to watch other people's lives change. To be an instrument, to lift somebody up when they're down, and to give them hope and to give them an opportunity to start fresh and to get their life back has been an amazing experience for me. I'm passionate about it. That's all I want to do. The traditional business world, forget it, man. I'm done with it. I want to go out and I want to help thousands of people change their lives. And that's what motivates me. That's what drives me. And that's all I want to do. So that's that's my why. That's what I love.
Ah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And like I said before, it started with the family, with his son-in-law, my husband, and then now he's helping people who he didn't even know last year, like it's amazing because your why can be so powerful that it can affect so many people. So that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
You bet.
All right, Becca, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So now here's the part that like you guys can participate a little bit more. So we're just going to go through every single, you guys can hear me okay, right? Okay. So we're just going to go through each category that's on that sheet. If you didn't print it off or have it in front of you, then just write it down as I say it, and then you can jot down things below it. So we're just going to share, some of you, it might just be the top of your head, what you come up with. Some of you might already have this written down if you did it ahead of time, but we're just going to share a little bit from each category, what some of our goals are, maybe just one per person. We'll see how it goes so we don't take up too much time. But the first one is your family goals. So, think about your family, think about where you want to be at the end of the year with in a goal with your family, or just your whole life. What's a goal you've always had with your family, and get that on paper and write it down. I'll share a couple of mine is, I hope, now I did mine kind of by the end of the year, but some of these are, also lifelong goals, but I want to, like a specific one is to be having individual time with each kid and each parent. Like Jake takes each child for an hour a week and I have time with my child. So that's like a specific measurable, I can tell if I did it that week kind of thing that goes with the SMART goals. One that's not so smart I need to work on as I was listening to Molly is that I would like our family systems, if that makes sense, to be running smoothly, like have a smooth routine by the end of the year that gives us peace and joy, and it's with intention. So that's a big goal, but I need to just break it down and make it more, specific and measurable and things like that. So that's just a couple examples. Does anyone else have any they want to share? You don't have to.
I have one.
Okay.
So one of my biggest ones, and I just started this about a month, like back in December, but is spending time with my family every day with my phone off. And this doesn't even have anything to do with coaching or business or anything, but I'm very easily distracted. And I know that my kids are watching me when they walk in the kitchen and mom's standing there, with my phone in my hand. And I don't want them, when they look back on their childhood, to picture their mom with a phone in her hand. So one of my goals is to spend time every day with the phone, not just like not using it, but off. Like, you can't get a hold of me. If you need me, find someone to come knock on my door. So that's one of my family ones.
Love it.
That's a good one. I like that. Unplugged. I have date night with my husband twice a month. It's my favorite goal out of everything.
Aww.
It's a fun one. But it's important too.
I actually did add spouse under family goal because that wasn't, separate. So I said get away at least twice a year as like an overnight type of thing, which we've kind of always done it, but it's getting harder. So I want to just make sure that it's intentional so we don't miss it. And then I said date at least a date once a month. So maybe I need to up my game. And anyone else want to share anything they have written down or on the top of their head for their family goal? Otherwise, we'll go on.
And just so everyone knows, you're muted, so don't be afraid to unmute yourself and say something, because we want this to be as interactive as it can be, because we all learn from each other. So don't be afraid to say something.
Yeah, and we have people watching the recording, so it's good to give them ideas. Eileen's got one, I can tell.
Yes, I do. So I just jot a few down. One would be family devotions daily. With my kids are little, so they'll be like little kid type devotions, but I want to like instill that in them while they're small.
Love it.
And then more unplugged time, date night with my husband, and just like intentional unplugged time with my husband, even after my kids go to bed, because sometimes, I don't know, I just feel like that kind of gets lost too. It's important to have that unplugged time specifically with him.
Cool. Those are really good. Dan, are you going to say something? Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about that. I didn't notice you unmuted me, so I muted myself again.
Oh,
Actually, one of the things that my wife and I, we just went on a marriage retreat. It gave us an opportunity to refocus on our relationship. This year is our 15-year anniversary, so it's our time to rededicate ourselves. One of the things that we decided we needed to do as part of our spiritual growth as well is one of the Sundays after we go to church, instead of it just being a free-for-all day, having a spiritual devotional day with our kids to actually break down a specific book or verse or chapter in a Bible to where we can actually go over it with our kids. Because a lot of times we see that they're not getting the same thing that we think should make sense to them, or they just get a glossy idea of something. This is our opportunity to help us grow and them grow in our spiritual journey.
that's a great one. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the next category because I don't see anybody else getting ready to chime in. So the next one's a little tricky, I think, or different. I've never really set this type of goal. It's social goals. So this is like, friendships. It could be anything to do with developing friendships. It could be starting new relationships. It could be just getting yourself out there in functions more and things like that, volunteering. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can fall into this category. If you're an entrepreneur or an online coach, like many of us, that might be like meeting a certain amount of new people online every week or something like that. So what I have personally for social goals is that I would like by the end of the year, I have a lot of good friendships online, and I have a couple like that I grew, childhood friends that I'm close with, but I would like to, now that we've moved, like I want to have at least like 3 new, or they don't have to be new, but deep friendships just within this area, or it could be online. It could be, new coaches or something, but just 3 more deep relationships by the end of the year. And I also have to find at least one couple or a family that Jake and I can both and our kids can really connect with and be friends with, because we had that in Rockford. And so now that we've moved, we don't, we have a lot of people that we've known from the past, but we don't have anyone currently. And then I also my other social goal is to know our neighbors really well by the end of the year, and to the point where we're like celebrating with some of them, eating meals with, like doing some of the just rhythms of life with them, worshiping together, like whatever it is, but just really knowing our neighbors and stuff. So anyone want to share some social goals?
For me, I think the social goals like push me out of my comfort zone, because I would be perfectly happy just staying in my little happy bubble. And so one thing that I have down is to be present at school. So like to walk on campus when I'm taking my kids and picking them up from school rather than doing a drive-through, volunteering with the organizations that they're in, sports and stuff. And when I'm there in front of other people, to like truly, kind of like Molly said, put the phone away, have my eyes up, make eye contact, smile, create conversations, and just push myself out of that comfort zone to get to know more people.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good one.
Friendships just from like pushing myself to do that.
And I think, I know you're an introvert at heart and I'm an extrovert, but still you saying those things was that's like, what? That I wouldn't I'm like, no, I'm trying to get out of volunteering. And like, Like I just want to get in and get out. Like my kid's riding the bus this year, so I don't have to go. But I think that there's something to that when you go in with being intentional about it. So it's not like this chore or this just mundane task of your day. You're going in thinking, who am I going to see? Like what's going on in their life? It does change your happiness level, and you're focusing on other people instead of focusing on your own, self and problems.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one. Okay.
So I put a girls' night out on mine.
Ooh.
Fun one.
Because those are really, apparently, like, I'm laughing because you guys are like, oh, I put date night with my husband. I'm like, forgot that one. But I did get girls' night out. Because I think that's so important to have, like, and my husband, we live very close to two of his brothers. So he has, like, his guys,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, sometimes us moms, we're so busy with the kids, it's hard to be like, see you guys, we're going out. And I need to do a better job of making time for that. So date night is my list, but girls' night out.
Do you have any idea, like, how many times you would like to see that happen, or?
I'd like to do it like once a month. I mean, I understand that I have to work with other people's schedules too,
right,
who maybe aren't setting smart goals. But, and it doesn't always have to be with the same friends or just one friend or always a group or whatever. But I just like to get out of the house with non-family members at least once a month, and do something else.
Yeah, I can guarantee we can have a girls' night in July in New Orleans.
Let's do
it. Covered.
It'll be Friday, July 14th, I think. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so the next category is personal development. So this is, for some people, like watching this, I honestly really never even understood this word, personal development. I had probably been doing it just from school, and my husband and I we like to learn and grow and stuff, but I didn't know it was like a thing that you should be, intentional about with your life and growing yourself. So personal development is just really anything that's going to develop you in any area. It can be, but primarily it's usually something like a book or an audio book or a motivational speaker. It can be a conference that you go to that really helps. So for me, I've got, I try to work personal development in my day every day, but what I struggle with is finishing a book. So, and like a leadership book or something, even, so I'm talking about nonfiction, right? Nonfiction. Is that right? Okay. I struggle with finishing those types of books, even though they're so good. So my goal is to finish a book once a month, a new book on whether it's, helping with me with being a better wife, family, a leader, a coach, whatever, finishing one once a month, to go to Hearts at Home, which is a mom conference that I go to. I've been going to the past few years, but just making it happen again this year. I'll go to my coaching summit, which is in New Orleans, which is what we were laughing about. And then to go to one other conference that I don't have nailed down yet this year. So those are my personal development goals. Does anyone else have any?
I said, I never did personal development until I became a coach. And then I thought it was kind of stupid. And then I realized how valuable it actually is and what a difference it really does make. And so in the 10 months or 9 months that I was a coach last year, I only finished 3 personal development books, which is terrible. And so this year I have a goal to finish 50 books in 2017, half of which are coaching related and half of which are like family, parenting, wife, like my personal relationship with Christ related. So that's like about 4 a month. So I'm so far on track.
Wow, really? That's a book a week pretty much. Because if you have 2 weeks off or something for vacation.
Yeah.
No, you should be able to read 2 on vacation.
For real. Unless I go with my kids.
Yeah. That's a really awesome goal.
But yeah, so that's my big personal development goal.
Okay, I'm going to move on unless someone interrupts me, which is fine. Okay, next one is career, right? Okay, sorry, I have this on scrap paper over here, but career is the next one. So I want to point out that if you're watching this and you are a stay-at-home mom, that if your primary, most of your time or your job is that's your career, right? So staying at home, so you would, if you can focus on things like housewife goals and cleaning and your kids and things like that. So some that I have written down, because I consider myself both, I'm working from home, so I kind of have my foot in both of those categories. So I do want to create, I don't want to do this, but it's a goal, create a cleaning schedule. I hope will help me, because I do like the satisfaction of crossing things off of a list. And I notice that in the business world, I'm pretty good at that. But when it comes to my house, it just doesn't happen. So creating a cleaning schedule and sticking to it. And I don't know exactly how to measure that. Like if I'll have to be like, I did 4 out of the 6. I don't know. I'm not really sure yet how I'll make that something workable. And then I want to stick to my work hours this year. So I've already started that goal. That's a big one for me this month and this year, but just to make sure that, I have work hours and I'm sticking to them and I'm not being distracted. But then when I'm not working, I'm not working. Get my office up and running. That's a career goal for me. So it's in my attic, but it's got a bunch of, I'm going to try to make it ready to go and pretty and comfortable. And then I have my last career goal is just to have, by the end of the year, to have more systems. And see, I need to be more specific. Systems in place for my coaches that are easy to reproduce. So I'll have to work on that one, like how many systems, things like that, which ones. But those are mine. Does anyone have any specific career goals that they want to achieve this year or just in their life?
I do. I was actually writing regular cleaning schedule as you said that. And I was like, yep, that's me. But that's one for at home. And then for my coaching business, I want to, I still need to break this down, but I want to be 5-star by December 31, and I want to go elite this year. And I'm also a professional photographer, so I want to get my business to where I book 1 to 2 sessions a month, and I want to get my in-home studio done. I've had all this stuff for a year, and it's still sitting in boxes in my office. So I want to get that done so I can have my photography stuff on one side and my Beachbody stuff on the other side.
Love it.
I love the idea of incorporating the home and the business together, because that's where I'm always trying to find balance between the two. So I think how I'm going to measure it is by power hours. And so by doing, make sure I get my power hour done for my business tasks every day, and then some sort of cleaning hour. And I have kind of a fun weekly schedule that I like that's not like crossing things off, because I don't like having a to-do list. So it's just kind of daily categories and themes, which works for me because it's more flexible. But that's, for me, that works really well. And then
will you share can you tell me a couple of them?
Yeah. So it's Messy Monday. So Monday, it's cleaning up the mess of the weekend. So it's putting things away, laundry in the rooms that they belong in, that sort of thing, just cleaning up the mess. And then Tuesday is Toilet Tuesday. So that's the bathroom or bathrooms if you have more than one. Wednesday is Wipe Down Wednesday. So that would be dusting. That could be like the microwave, the oven, the things that you don't get to, because life is busy. So Wipe Down Wednesday, and you can rotate through and do different areas to wipe down different weeks. Thursday is Throw It Out Thursday. So I'm purging and I'm getting rid of things that I don't need and donating things, getting less stuff in the house. And then Friday is either Floor Friday if they need help. Sometimes I do floors more often, or Free Friday, which is just whatever needs to be done. Or maybe I give myself the day off if I want to. So that works well for me.
Awesome.
What was your Monday and Tuesday?
Messy
I'm writing this down.
Toilet Tuesday.
And what was Monday?
Messy Monday. Because we all have a messy house after the weekend. At least I do. I don't know.
Any other career goals that anyone wants to share?
Yeah, work less at the corporate job and get more into my Beachbody job. Because honestly, I'm putting in 60 hours a week at a Fortune 5 company at this point. And I mean, honestly, it's draining and it's not what I really want to be doing. But then for the rest of the time, it gets to a point where with our family, we need to break it down like this. We have an entire calendar for the month and then a calendar for the week. And if we don't break it down like that, we don't get anything done. My wife works in direct sales. So for her, if it's not organized in the house where she works from, she can't work. And so we have to have it broken down to where even our 10-year-old and our 12-year-old are contributing to the house. Because it is proven, longest historic study of human beings, 75-year study done by Harvard, showed that kids that do chores are most often successful in their corporate lives later. We have to integrate them, but it also puts stress on us because it's something we have to do as well in addition to work. So 60 hours at corporate means nothing if I can't come home and help contribute, so that way my kids can see me lead by example.
Yeah, totally.
Just makes it hard because somewhere in there I've still got to hit the gym and figure out how to make my connections on Facebook and still not come across like I'm insane.
Yeah.
So can you come up with a plan where you're doing less hours at work and able to ease in more hours with Beachbody and just maybe move to half and half or something? Like, can you look at numbers this year with that?
Yeah, that's what I'm pushing for. And I just moved to a specialized team at work, but it makes it kind of difficult because now, as of right now, a lot more is required of me until this gets finalized. So until it's done, so until August even, it seems like I won't know for sure. July is what I'm shooting for, and I'm hoping, honestly, before my anniversary on June 22nd, I can figure it out so I can take my vacation time.
Oh, that's awesome. So that might be your goal date, to have it figured out by your anniversary. That's awesome.
15 years, you said, right? That's huge.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Okay, moving on to financial. So sometimes these go hand in hand, but this is going to be more like, you don't be afraid to write down a number, or if it's budgeting or, all kinds of different things you can put into financial. So some ideas, some ones that I have is, and I didn't write down a number yet, and I need to figure this out, but I would like by the end of the year that my income from being a coach is enough to live on for our family without Jake's income. So that's just something specific that I've wanted. And I know Kirsty has said this before. One thing about goals is sometimes we, maybe you guys said this already, I hope not, that we are afraid to put a big scary goal out there and then not hit it. I'm sure you said that. And so, but that's something even if I have that number and that's my goal and I don't hit it by the end of the year, I'm surely going to be much closer than if I never wrote that goal down in the first place. So don't be afraid of failing and disappointing, coming short from the goal. 10X Rule is a really good book about that, how you should, if you shoot for 10 and you only get 5, it's better than if you made your goal 2 and only hit 2 or 1, if that makes sense. Okay, so mine are my income to be enough to live on without Jake's. I want to get back on the Dave Ramsey. We did Dave Ramsey a while ago and paid off all our student loans with it. And we've had we used to be disciplined with our budget. So just getting back to that, to building our savings back up, because we've had to use it with moving and everything, back up to the 3 to 6 months expenses. So that's very specific. And then by the end of the year, I'm hoping a goal would be to start getting our mortgage worked down to a 15-year rather than a 30. So we just bought our house, 30-year loan, but I'd like to work it towards 15. Anybody else got any financial goals they want to share?
I would like to be debt-free by the end of, before 2018. and I have a lot of student loans, but we have like credit card debt too. And so my goal is to pay $7,000 of credit card debt off before April. So we're doing okay so far.
Nice.
And then I guess it's kind of like a financial business goal, but I want to have $1,000 week in 2017. So that's a goal of mine.
Cool. Kelly, do you have any you want to share? You can say no. I was just making sure you're.
I would probably say, sorry, I was trying to figure out how to myself. Becoming debt-free is definitely a goal of mine. And I guess I should say before the end of 2017, although I don't see that as realistic, but you know, it's definitely a big goal of ours that we've been kind of working towards since last year. So
Good one.
I'm gonna way at that.
Saying that daily affirmation, I am debt-free.
Yeah, I'm actually reading the 10x or listening to the 10x rule.
Oh,
right now.
nice. He's pretty intense, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move on unless anyone's got anything else. Okay, the next one is your spiritual goal. And so just to clarify, spiritual goal does not have to be a religious goal. So this is, you know, I think a lot of us on this call probably have similar faith backgrounds, but it doesn't have to be that way. So it doesn't have to be affiliated with like a certain religion or anything like that. So spiritual goal, just to give you an idea, is kind of just tapping into your soul, things like a higher power or meditation, prayer, journaling even. So things like that, kind of a realm that's not just here, sort of spirituality type of stuff. So for different people, that's going to mean different things. But anyway, so spiritual goals. So mine specifically are to have, and I think a couple people touched on these things for family goals, but for mine is to making sure by the end of 2018 that, or just this year, my goal is that my Bible reading, prayer, devotional time is never missed, or like very rarely missed. So that has not been true last year for me. So this year it is like a focus of mine. So I've been getting up even 30 minutes earlier before my kids, just so I know that I can get it in first. That brings me to this. There's an analogy of someone taking like some sort of container and and you have sand and then you have golf balls, let's say. I wish I had it so I could do it for you. And so if you try to put the sand in first, so that would be all the things that shouldn't really be our priority, right? The not as important things in life. If we try to put those in first and then we try to put the golf balls, it doesn't fit. But if you start with the big things in your life that are the most important, family, faith, whatever it is for you, put those in and then you pour the sand or water, whatever, it fits. So that's important to me. So that's one of my spiritual goals. Another one is to have our missional community or organic church. It's kind of a interesting term, but started by the end of the year so that we're meeting regularly and just like edifying each other and stuff like that. So that's my spiritual goals. I want to say that I'll be journaling, but it's not attainable. No, I'm just kidding.
Just not realistic at this point in your life.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share theirs?
I would love to share mine because it's like, if I say it out loud, then I have a little more skin in the game. I really want to be consistent at waking up 45 minutes early and doing my lifesavers. So that's the early morning things that I've come up with from the book, The Miracle Morning. If you haven't read it, get it. It's amazing. And one of those tasks is, well, I've kind of added that in, but my scripture study in the morning. And I've started doing it by topic rather than just, from beginning to end is harder for me I have an ADD mind, and so I need, like, that's a good organization for me. So I've been doing just kind of by topic, and I jump around in the scriptures. And then I'm taking it one step further, and I'm going to share that with other people. So I want to commit to doing a live video every week with something that I've learned on that spiritual sense, even if it's not super religious, like you were saying, Becca, but like kindness was the topic last week. And then this week is on charity. So taking what I'm reading and listening to and taking it one step further to share that with other people.
Love it.
Do you have a devotional you're going by for that, or is it just?
Yeah, it is a book, and I think I moved it by my bed. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I'll share it with you later. But
Okay.
it's by topic, and then it just goes through scriptures and has different, every week it's a different topic.
Because I'm the same way, like start to finish. I have started, I don't know how many times.
That's
Huh?
it. That's it. Okay, so I gave it to my parents last year for Christmas. 52 weeks to.
Oh, she's pointing to her dad, Tom.
Oh,
if you can see his
he's
box.
below me in
Oh,
one.
sorry, you're up here.
So it's great because it's simple enough. Yeah, 5-minute messages. Thank you. Nicole
Wait, what's it
Carpenter.
called? I'm sorry, I can't see everybody. Oh, there it is. 52 weeks to fortify.
Your family.
Cool. Okay.
Simple enough for the kids too, but then it's deep enough for adults. So I love it. It's great. It works for my family. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what we've all been waiting for, physical goals. No. So I think physical goals are probably, they're the easiest they're the most concrete, I guess I would say, or tangible, but they're also some of the hardest because we underestimate how mental physical goals are. So a lot of people watching this are Beachbody coaches, not everybody, but even if you're not, you're most likely you're thinking about it. I mean, you're thinking about health and fitness, not coaching. You're thinking about it. So, yeah, so everyone has, some sort of physical goal, health goal sort of thing. So you can look at, physical fitness. You can break it up that way from your fitness standpoint and your nutrition. It can be, changing health results, like I want to be off my cholesterol medicine by this time or whatever. So just thinking in lots of different terms. So for me, I've got a few. One of the things I've never done this. It's called the Ultimate Reset, and it's a plant-based cleanse, 21 days, but it's not in the way we think of cleanses. It's you eat and stuff like that, but really, really, really great for your body. And I've always been too scared to do it. I've always psyched myself out thinking that I couldn't. And so that's something I want to do this year after I have my baby. And I will adjust for breastfeeding, but side note. The other thing is, this one's a little bit more vain, I guess, but I would like to have some abs poking through by the end of the year. So I'm giving myself grace from having a child in May. And I've never been one to have a six-pack naturally, like even when I was, 3 sports a year and lifting and all that stuff. I've never had a six-pack, but so that's not my goal. But my goal is just to have my abs poking through again. What else? I would like to finish a longer Beachbody workout program. So I've never finished like a 90-day program. Even before I was a coach, I did P90X regular, but I don't think I finished it all the way through. And same with Insanity. Is that one longer? I'm not even sure. Yeah, it is. I think it's 8 weeks. So 60 to 90 days, I want to finish a program this year. And one of the ways that I can measure some of these things is that I want to be able to lift my older kids without straining. So right now I obviously am having trouble, but with the belly in the way and stuff, but just my physical strength. Like I want to be able to just like easy peasy pick up my 5-year-old, everything like that. So those are mine. I think that's all I have. Anybody else want to share theirs? Lose 20 pounds.
Mine's actually definitely more vain. This is also my 20-year reunion. So,
Ooh.
yeah, where my weight has kind of plateaued. When I first started with Kaylee, I was over 300 pounds. I'm down to 240 to 235. But the thing is that my waist is down from a 44 to a 36. But by the time my reunion starts in June, I want those abs to pop. I want to be in a size 34 pants, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. So I am going to do that. I am going to finish my P90X3, because as of right now, I should finish out 22 hardcore just in time to start P90X3 and finish it just before our anniversary, and the following weekend is my reunion.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be hard, but somewhere in there, I myself want to try that ultimate refresh, because I know it's something that I should do. It could definitely help me obtain my goals, but I'm tired of being just outside of my goal instead of being at it. And so that last 35-pound push down to 205, that's all I want before the end of this year.
So you might not be able, so the ultimate reset, the 21 days, you aren't supposed to work out. You can do like yoga, but you could squeeze in a 3-day refresh after, because you're probably going to have some fun on your vacation with your wife. So then.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom says ultimate reset is the answer for abs.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll definitely get there. I realize that I'm going to have a break between 22, which will finish up, and then the P90X will be done. So I'll have March that I'll be able to do 21 or the ultimate refresh.
Love it.
Dan, I need to connect you to my husband, because he has similar goals too, and he wants to get down to 200 pounds. So you guys are probably similar places in your.
I would love that.
Journey.
And you need to be mentored by Tom in general.
That would work.
Because you have that same, you're trying to get out of corporate.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know. Okay, so that's all for the categories. So I think, Kirsty, I'm passing it over to you, unless anyone first has questions about the categories or anything. It's all understandable, I think. Okay, awesome. And we talked about the when I feel like giving up, I'll tell myself. So take some time while this is all fresh in your mind and fill that out and your why. And just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you to the coaches who helped put this on. This was great. We also wanted to extend a challenge to you, or an invite, to join us next week for a 5-day jumpstart. So these goals, right, are for the whole year. But now we're going to jump into, let's start making this happen. So it starts on Monday. It's going to be Monday through Friday, 5-day free group. First day, we're going to talk about time management. I think sometimes that's the hardest part. How are we going to manage our time? How are we going to balance all these things together? Next day, we're going to work on your own affirmation and setting daily intentions. So taking that time either in the morning or the night before to really set the intention for the day, like Caitlin was talking about. Day 3 is going to be how to stress less and find more joy out of life, because that's the whole point in life, right? Is to find happiness and to be happy while we're trying to reach these goals. So obviously there's stumbling blocks, stress along the way, but we're going to try to get a plan on how to stress a little less and just be happier. Next day is meal prep and healthy planning, because that's a big part of reaching especially our physical goals and keeping our families healthy. And then the last day is consistency for long-term success, because obviously it's not just a 5-day journey. It's not just a 60 or 90-day journey. This is all about creating that healthy lifestyle that's going to last forever. So that's our little plan for next week for the next 5 days. And then we would love to meet again next month and put these goals that you have on paper into a vision board. So next month's webinar theme is the dream board or vision board and how to visualize your goals. So we would love for you to join us with that. And you can invite anyone as well. We're going to keep our webinars open to anyone, friends, family, other coaches, non-coaches, anyone who you think would benefit from this and enjoy doing this with you. So sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you all. It's fun. It's fun to brainstorm together. I really like this.
Thanks, coaches.
Hang on just a second. All right, guys. Well, thanks for getting on. And I have this recorded, so I'll get the YouTube link up together sometime either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll get that to each of you so you can share that with anyone else who you think would enjoy this.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Bye.